Hi there, I'm Eric LeClaire from AMP Global. I'm going to walk you through this installation process. So grab your tools and let's get started. Today we're going to be expanding our visibility around our vehicle by using the new Echomaster Universal AHD CVBS camera. This camera can be used with a standard definition CVBS display, which is most of the displays on the market, at 480 lines of resolution. But with the simple snip of a wire, it can be used in analog high definition mode, providing an amazing 720 lines of resolution to a compatible AHD monitor. Configurable for the front or the back of any vehicle, this truly is a universal camera. Today we're going to be adding a front-facing camera to a Jeep Wrangler. This is a very popular application because it helps everywhere from the trails to the parking lots. For the Wrangler JK, we're going to start by opening the hood. Then remove these 6 fasteners from the top of the front grille. There's a center pin that you can pull up using a pry tool or a flathead screwdriver. Then remove the whole fastener. Then pull the lower edge of the grille toward the front of the Jeep to release the clips. Disconnect the headlight harnesses by sliding the red locking tab out. Then press in on the black tab and slide the whole connector to remove it. Then repeat this process on the other headlight. Now we're going to take the grille over to the bench, where we'll mount the front camera to the grille. It's a lot easier there than it is on the Jeep. The Jeep has 7 ovals in the grille, so we're going to mount our camera right at the top of the center oval. Wherever you have a flat or slightly curved surface, you can use this universal mount. We're pressing the camera up into the curve of the plastic to slightly shape the mounting bracket. Once you've confirmed the ideal mounting location, remove the backing of the tape from the camera mount. Remember that the universal bracket can also be moved to the bottom of the camera so that it can be mounted on the top of a surface, as opposed to under a surface like what we're doing here. Center the camera side to side and ensure it has enough space front to back for the screws to bite into the plastic. Tech tip: you can use an alcohol prep pad on the surface and allow it to dry before applying the camera for the best chance of adhesion. You can also use a product like Adhesive Promoter if you'd like. Once again, carefully position the camera onto the panel and press it for 30 seconds to fully promote adhesion. Using a small Phillips bit, carefully install the mounting screws, securing the camera to the grille. After you power on your camera and confirm you have the desired viewing angle, tighten the Phillips screw on the camera mount to lock it into position. Now back at the Jeep, reconnect the headlight harnesses, pass the supplied heat shrink over the camera connector. The camera comes configured for AHD resolution output. If your monitor supports AHD, no further action is required. If your display is standard CVBS compatible only and does not support AHD, then simply cut this blue loop wire. The camera will then put out standard CVBS resolution for standard monitors. The camera and the extension cable are keyed, so they only connect in one orientation. Find the alignment tabs and connect the cables together. They will pop into place when fully connected. Then use a heat gun to shrink the heat shrink over the connection point to reinforce it. Now attach the free end of the camera extension cable to a long zip tie or wire runner. We're going to route the camera cable through the engine bay, avoiding hot or moving components. Try to follow the OEM wiring as much as possible. We're going to pull most of the wiring through, leaving a little bit of slack for the grille, in case we need to remove it to access the headlights. That way we don't damage the camera cable. Here we'll bundle up the extra slack that we left for the camera. If we need to remove the grille, we simply snip this zip tie and we can remove the grille. Pass the cable behind the battery holder by the fender. On an automatic transmission Jeep, there's a nice exposed grommet on the driver's side. In a manual transmission Wrangler like we have in the shop today, we need to pass through the grommet on the passenger side, which is located behind the wheel well. Underneath the wheel well, remove this 10mm bolt, and remove these several plastic fasteners so that we can move the plastic fender liner out of the way. This gives us access to go straight up from the bottom and access the grommet with the factory OEM wiring passing through it. Use a razor knife or other sharp tool to carefully poke through the rubber grommet. Use caution to not damage the wires inside the harness. You will need to pass through both sides of the grommet to get into the Jeep. Then pass the zip tie and camera cable through the grommet. The cable will exit the passenger side footwell, just above the carpet. Pull the slack through and run it along the side of the Jeep by the OEM wiring. Connect the camera end with RCA connector and power leads to the camera extension. There are another set of keys to promote proper alignment of the connectors. Align the connectors and press them together until they pop into position. This camera comes set up as a backup camera, so the image is not reversed and the parking lines are on. In a front viewing scenario like we're installing here, we want to mirror the camera's image so that it's correct for front viewing. If you wish to turn off the front camera parking lines, then strip and connect the green wires also. Then insulate the connections with electrical tape. With the green loop connected and the white loop connected, this camera is configured for front view without parking lines. We have the same camera on the back of the Jeep with the loops disconnected, as it's a reverse camera with parking lines. Connect the RCA connector from the camera into your head unit or video display. If your Jeep is equipped with a Stinger Heighten, like this one, you can connect to the 2 leads provided for aftermarket camera power. That's it. Now we just reassemble the Jeep in the reverse order of how we took it apart. That completes the installation of our Echomaster Universal AHD and CVBS camera. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.